Welcome to our professional skill development channel. Today, we're diving deep into the world of ethics. We'll cover the basics of ethical behavior, workplace deviance, ethical decision-making, and much more. Let's explore how to navigate these complex issues with integrity. To begin with, let's understand what ethics and ethical behavior means. Ethics is the study of right and wrong, and ethical behavior involves actions that align with society's accepted moral standards. For example, an ethical employee reports accurate data, respects colleagues, and complies with workplace policies. Now let's understand workplace deviance and its types. Workplace deviance is unethical behavior that violates organizational norms and harms the company or its employees. It can be categorized into four main types. Production deviance. This occurs when employees reduce the quality or quantity of work. For instance, a worker intentionally wasting time or neglecting job responsibilities. Property deviance. This involves damaging or stealing company property. An example would be taking office supplies for personal use or sabotaging equipment. Political deviance. This includes behaviors like gossiping or manipulating others to harm someone's reputation. A common example is spreading rumors to undermine a colleague's credibility. Personal aggression. This refers to hostile or aggressive behavior towards others, for instance, bullying, harassment, or verbal abuse in the workplace. There are critical influences on the ethical decision-making process that are ethical intensity, moral development, and ethical principles. Let's understand these three influences on ethical decision-making. Ethical intensity determines how much a particular issue demands ethical consideration. Several elements shape it. 1. Magnitude of consequences. How severe are the potential outcomes of a decision? For example, the impact of fraud in a large company may be far-reaching, affecting many people. 2. Social consensus. How much agreement exists on whether the action is good or bad? For instance, there's a general consensus that stealing is wrong. 3. Probability of effect. What are the chances that your action will cause harm? A manager approving a risky project should consider the likelihood of potential damage. 4. Temporal immediacy. How soon will the consequences of a decision occur? Immediate consequences, like laying off employees, tend to have a higher ethical intensity than long-term effects. 5. Proximity of effect. How closely does the decision-maker feel to those affected by the action? For example, it's easier to empathize with someone you know personally. 6. Concentration of effect. How concentrated is the harm or benefit? A decision affecting one person directly may have a higher concentration than one impacting many indirectly. The second influence on moral decision-making is the moral development stages proposed by Kohlberg. The theory explains how individuals develop moral reasoning through different levels and stages. Pre-conventional level has two stages. The Stage 1. Obedience and punishment. Decisions are based on avoiding punishment. For example, a child follows rules to avoid getting scolded. And Stage 2 is Stage 2 self-interest. Actions are driven by personal gain, such as doing a favor to get one in return. Conventional level. The second level of moral development has two stages. Stage 3 conformity. People make decisions to win approval from others. A team member works hard to be seen as reliable by their peers. And Stage 4 law and order. Decisions are based on upholding laws and rules, like obeying company policies without questioning them. Post-conventional level is the third level with two stages. The Stage 5 social contract. People recognize that laws are important but may not be perfect, and they prioritize the greater good. For example, advocating for policy changes to promote social justice. And the last, Stage 6 universal ethical principles. Decisions are based on internal moral principles, like fairness and equality, even if they conflict with laws. Think of civil rights leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, who prioritized human rights over unjust laws. The third influencing factor on ethical decision-making is ethical principles containing the following. Principle of long-term self-interest. Always choose actions that are in your long-term interest, like building a reputation of integrity. Principle of personal virtue. Act in ways that are open, honest, and truthful so you can feel proud of your actions. Imagine a manager being transparent about company changes, even when the news is difficult. Principle of religious injunctions. Ensure that your actions promote kindness and compassion. For example, Helping a colleague in distress aligns with many ethical and religious principles. Principle of government requirements. Follow the law because it represents a minimum standard of ethical behavior. Abiding by safety regulations is a clear example. Principle of utilitarian benefits. Aim to provide the greatest good for the greatest number of people. For instance, a company's decision to offer health benefits impacts employees positively. Principle of individual rights. Respect and protect each individual's rights, like the right to privacy or freedom of speech. Principle of distributive justice. Strive for fairness, ensuring that people are treated equitably. A company offering equal pay for equal work exemplifies this principle.